Well, hello everybody. Thanks again for reading through that blog post and coming down here to the bottom and checking out the video. Wanted to make a short little video just sort of expanding on some of the ideas I have about emotional intelligence for adolescent males that I couldn't fit into the post that I wrote. As I'm thinking about the three things that I recommend to parents regarding how to teach emotional intelligence to their sons, and I'm thinking about perception of emotions, regulation of emotions of the self and of others, and connection. I think of those three things as some of the most important things that parents could focus on throughout the life of their child. And I think back to many of the teenage boys that I've worked with who've struggled with some of these things and how impactful it can be in their life and the way that they relate to other people, the success that they have in school, the success that they find in family relationships and other areas of life as well. And I think that really regulation of emotion is one of the biggest and most important pieces. Our culture seems to tell adolescent males, and maybe the males get this idea probably growing up throughout their life, that they're not supposed to feel the feelings that other people feel. That if they feel sadness, if they feel hurt, embarrassment, some of these more vulnerable feelings, if they feel those, that they're supposed to keep them stuffed inside, don't allow other people to see them, and for sure don't express them through words or through tears. The problem is, and what I've found in working with many teenage boys, is that after a while they just can't hold those feelings inside anymore. And those feelings build up, build up, build up, and pretty soon they either come out in real displays of aggression or real displays of emotion that are uncontrollable and that just overwhelm the teenager, or they hold inside and they get really, really, really good at holding those things inside, but then they turn into things like anxiety and depression, which aren't real helpful either. And so these things that we sometimes are taught to our boys from society or maybe even our family dynamics that, don't express feelings, you shouldn't be feeling things, and you're not allowed to express them, just don't seem to be helpful and actually can create more problems than what they solve. Now, the challenge is that many times the ways that boys express their feelings are tough for parents. And so we have to be able to manage those things. And that's where, parents being able to regulate their own emotions come into play. I just think of this just recently with my own children. There was a conflict between my three sons, and it became pretty explosive. One of them was very emotional, very angry, even yelling at the other ones because of the emotion he was experiencing. And I did my best to be able to view that expression of emotion as more an indicator of the power with which he was feeling what he was feeling, rather than any inappropriate display of emotion. Now, he wasn't, hurting anybody, he wasn't damaging things, and so it was possibly within that realm of what's appropriate. But yet I found it difficult to be okay with that. I wanted him to be calm. I wanted him to be nice. I wanted him to not be so loud when expressing these things. But he needed to be able to express those things in those ways. As I reflect back and come to this conclusion, thinking about it a little bit more, he needed to be able to express himself in that way because it was in that way he was able to communicate how strongly he was feeling these things and get across the message to his brothers and to me that this is really important stuff for him. And the only way that I can express it right now is in this really powerful and maybe even loud and emotional way. So I can't say that I did it perfectly because I don't think I did. But I think sometimes as I'm reflecting back, I have to, and we as parents have to allow our boys to express those emotions in really sometimes what are for us scary ways that are full of emotion, full of loud words maybe, and maybe even sometimes full of words that we don't like so much. Because those expressions help them to be able to express how powerful they're feeling those things. And when we have empathy for that in those moments, when we are able to validate those feelings in those moments, then that is just a powerful way for them to feel understood and feel that their parents and their brothers or whoever else it is that they're expressing these things to have an idea or get what's happening on their inside, understand a little bit more about what's happening inside of them. And that's how they learn emotional regulation. That's how they learn to be emotionally intelligent, in my opinion, is when they have someone understand what's happening on the inside and be able to regulate. If I can regulate myself in the midst of that display of really powerful emotions, that helps to regulate him. Because if I'm calm and don't escalate the situation, then that helps him to be able to keep himself calm, even in the expression of that really difficult emotion. So I'm not sure if this story or these ideas about helping your son to learn emotional intelligence are helpful. I would love to hear your comments, so feel free to comment on the video below and share with me your experiences of helping your sons to regulate and learn emotional intelligence, as well as, ask any questions. I'd love to respond and interact with you through these videos in that way.